Gun live stream. Today is Wednesday, June 17th, 2026, and we'll give it a few minutes for people to join and we'll get started. Hey, Mark, thank you for joining. And Danimal, welcome. I'm doing well. Hope you are too. Hey, we have a few people on now. Just give it another minute or so. Hey, Duke, how are you, brother? Did you shoot that Glock 20 yet, Duke? Danimal, let me tell you, you are going to love that emissary, brother. Hey, G, welcome. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I'm tired tonight too, but it's hot in Tennessee, so yeah, Danimal, you are gonna love that emissary. Everything about that thing is awesome. The grips, I love the uh, front tritium night sight with the U-notch rear sight. BW, how are you? Oh, that sucks, Duke. Damn, $3,000 a month rent. It's funny because my parents still live in New Jersey and they pay, I think, $2,500 a month rent, and it's mind-boggling. Duke, for probably $1,200 a month, you can buy your own house down here. Less than that. And glad you're doing great there, BW. And William, thanks for joining. Yeah, the taxes are just crazy in New Jersey there, Duke. My brother lives in Verona, New Jersey, and he pays $15,000 a year property tax. Um, like they just raised ours. We've been here 7 years now, and I think we pay 800 a year now. We moved here 7 years ago. It was only 600. But it's not really that cheap down here either. Even though it is a gun-friendly state, and it's definitely worth being here. Um, but when we first moved here, you can get houses down here for 150. Now you're going to pay over 300. I mean, it's not even cheap here anymore. But we don't pay state income tax, so and it is a gun-friendly state. So surprisingly, Maryland, even though they're a uh, liberal state, I'll get right to you there, Mark. Actually, I'll answer it now. Yes, Tennessee is very affordable. Uh, you know, Housing has gone up since we've been here, but I mean, it's nothing like, what it is up north. I mean, uh, and we don't pay state income tax. But not paying state income tax is really not all it's cracked up to be either. I mean, they get their money from you, right? Because we pay uh, state sales tax and we pay county sales tax. And unlike when we used to live in New Jersey, we do pay sales tax on food and clothing in Tennessee. But um, I'll take that. So the sales tax is 7% state tax and 3% county. So when you buy a gun, you're paying 10% tax, but that's okay. Um, Surprisingly, Maryland, which obviously is a libtard state, the courts just ruled that carrying a gun alone no longer justifies a police stop or detaining an individual, which I'm really, really surprised about. And that came about because of the uh, Second Amendment right to carry brawn law. Hey, Daniel. Gun Dog, Philip, and hello, Russia. Wow, this is great. We got a lot of people here today, a lot of new people. Those people that are new here, we do this live stream every Wednesday evening, 8 o'clock Eastern, and every Saturday at 12 noon. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. But anyway, that's big news in Maryland because um, Maryland used to be able to detain you and arrest you even if you were printing. And now the courts ruled that having a gun alone is not a reason to do that. So I like that. And thank you for that there, Gundogan. Sorry, I'm trying to read the comments here. Yeah, there's a lot of anti-gun states, but um, nothing is worse than Illinois. And Philip, I think I'm going to have to boot you, brother, because I don't know what you're doing here. You know what? I mean, I get it. People have family in states, but um, why? I don't know why anybody would live in a state like Illinois. Um, Now Connecticut is worse than New Jersey. Um, that lunatic governor in Virginia. Yeah, that is a problem there, the animal. I mean, I get it. People have family and stuff, but I don't know. I mean, one of the reasons we left is that in New Jersey, in order to purchase a pistol, you needed to apply for a pistol purchase permit. And copy goes to the state police, copy goes to the local police, FFL gets one, and you get one. So they know exactly what you have. And when I bought my Glock 20, it came with 15 round magazines. And when Governor Murphy stole the election, um, we got a letter in the mail from the local police department saying if I didn't surrender my high capacity magazines, I would become a Class E felon and they can confiscate my firearms. Man, we were out of there faster than shit through a goose. 3 months, we were gone. I mean, it's just amazing how, with the swipe of a pen in the middle of the night, you can become a felon. And that's the scary thing is that you have these gun laws that are being created by people that know nothing about guns. And uh, so, yeah, we moved to the great state of Tennessee. And the nice thing about it here is it was a big change when we moved to Tennessee from New Jersey. Um, I didn't know what the deal was. You know, I walked into Bud's gun shop and I said to the guy, um, "Do I need to get a pistol permit to buy a gun?" He's like, um, "You just pay the guy." So I said, "Okay." I said, "But this gun is a surprise for my wife. So what do I do to transfer it to her? Does she have to get a pistol permit?" And he said, "You just give it to her." So yeah, Tennessee is awesome. There are no permits or background checks required for third party sales. So if I were to sell my neighbor a firearm, it doesn't go through a background check. Um, and Tennessee opted out of the NICS system. We have our own called TICS. It goes through the Tennessee Instant Background Check. Yeah, you know what, BW? I have a friend of mine that's a cop in Texas, and his motorcycle club was having a celebration at the New Jersey chapter, and they're not even allowed to carry in New Jersey. Well, they weren't at that time. Probably now with Leosa, I'm sure they can. And we got our first liberal going away. Anyway, Father's Day weekend is coming up. Um, I'm curious what you guys put on your list for Father's Day and what toys you guys are going to get. I know what mine is. No, I'm not afraid of everyone getting shot. Absolutely not. And good evening, Dave. Thanks for joining. Um, Dog napper. No, I'm not afraid. I would rather have people next to me carrying a gun. I feel more safe with that. Yes, Tennessee has a different background check. It's called the TICS system. There are a few states that opted out of NICS. Um, well, you know what, Dog Napper? The crazy people are going to get their guns anyway. Yes, absolutely, Mike. It's already been proven that armed citizens stop more active shootings than police do. Um, Mel, I don't, I mean, yes, Bull Armory's got a very good reputation, but I haven't fired one. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read through comments here. And Jeremiah, welcome. Yes, everybody should own a gun. Everybody. And if you live in a state that allows you to carry, everybody should allow you to carry. Yeah, I'm not a fan of double stack 2011s personally, but that's just me. Of course, Mark, the liberals never going to give the armed citizen credit. But, you know, I am a data guy by trade. That's what I do for a living. I analyze data. And the data proves that armed citizens stop more active shooters than cops. They prevent more injuries and deaths than cops. Simple reason is that they're already at the scene. By the time the police get there, it's too late. Yeah, Jeremiah, back in the good old days, you used to be able to bring your guns to school for show and tell, and they had shooting club, and hunters had them in the back. But down in Tennessee, you can do that, but I'm pretty sure the main reason people don't do it is because somebody will break your window and steal them. Well, that's, you know what, the Canadian government just, people should just not do it. Um, and another advantage that we have over police is that when the police arrive at the scene, um, they're a target. They have their uniform on, they're walking out with their rifles. Um, they could get ambushed. The active shooter has no idea what civilians are carrying. So we actually have the element of surprise because they don't know who's going to be able to defend us. How do cops know who the good guy is? You know what? They're never going to know. But you know what? On an active shooter situation, the police are the last people to show up. So, but these people that cave in, that's their bad. I mean, look at that lunatic governor in Virginia, right? Um, July 1st, their assault weapon ban goes into effect. Um, but fortunately, the sheriffs and even some of the district attorneys said that they're not going to enforce that law. And I give them credit because um, she is just a freaking communist. And on top of that, while we're talking about armed citizens, right? Last week, I already talked about the imbecile police officers, and I did a video on it where the one moron shot another one because they were jerking around in the parking lot, right? Well, we shoot better than the police do. And when an active shooter is on the scene and there are armed citizens, there are also less people injured by mistake than police. I mean, how many times have you heard on the news that five police officers shot the guy 28 times and they hit him three times? Yeah, that's the problem, Jeremiah. It's like, you know, if you get pulled over by a cop, fortunately in Tennessee, we don't have a requirement to notify law enforcement that were carrying a firearm. And if you live in a state that you do, you need to be really careful how you word that, especially if you have a rookie cop who may have a trigger finger. You may want to just say, um, I have a permit to exercise my Second Amendment right, and I'm exercising that right now. How would you like me to proceed? The last thing you're going to want to say to a rookie cop is, oh, I have a gun. And that is true, Mel. Police officers shoot, they only hit their target 30% of the time. And that is just unbelievable. I mean, when I take my NRA instructor classes, I have to score 90. To only hit your target 30% of the time, they shouldn't even be allowed to carry a firearm. No, most police just don't shoot, period. They also don't take care of their weapons. Um, Obviously, by the video I posted last week, um, you know, they also don't follow firearm safety. Hey, old grouchy guy, thanks for joining. Welcome. So, what are you guys getting for Father's Day? I'm curious. I know what I'm getting. And I got a call today that it just came in, so I will pick it up Saturday. SRT cop, thank you for your service. We do um, respect law enforcement. It is a thankless job. Yes, Duke. I mean, what are you buying for yourself? Um, but SRT cop, you know what? It didn't occur to me until a year ago. I have a good friend of mine that's a cop in Dallas, and I went to the NRA convention last year in Dallas, and I stayed at my buddy's house. And we got on the subject about how horrible um, cops shoot. And he made a good point I never thought about. And he's like, all cops don't eat, breathe, and sleep guns like you do. To some of them, it's just a tool to do their job. And I never thought about it before. And, um, it does make sense because um, besides being an instructor, I'm also a range safety officer. And I could tell you that cops are the worst shooters that I ever see at the gun range. Exactly, Dave. That's why the law enforcement trade-ins are great deals. Um, Most of those guys never even shoot. I mean, there's cops that have been on the force, you know, their whole career and have never had to fire their weapon. Well, BW, it may be insane, but that is what the statistics show. That law enforcement only hits their target about 30% of the time. Oh, Danimal, you can't go wrong with Santana. Yeah, that sounds good too, Duke. Wow, with the Doobie Brothers, man, that's a blast from the past. Yes, yes, Gunther, that is happening. Massachusetts is getting bad. Um, Connecticut banned the Glocks. Maryland did. Illinois did. California did. Um, and now New Jersey's trying to jump on the bandwagon. Yeah, Massachusetts is bad, and that lunatic mayor they have too is in Boston. She's just insane as well. We just need the Supreme Court to rule on a lot of this stuff, um, and put it to bed. I mean, I see that there's a Senator Lee. I think he's from out in the Midwest somewhere, trying to propose a bill to allow national reciprocity. It's never going to happen. Never. Not in our lifetime because the libtards, they're never going to go for that. Well, that's the problem, Michael, is there is no more middle of the road. It seems to be far left, far right. Hey, Chris, welcome. Thanks for joining. Yes, I agree with you there, old grouchy man. I saw a movie one time where only the military and the police had guns. It was called Schindler's List. All right, BW, you got to go. I tolerated this nonsense for long enough. Sorry. You know what, Duke? I say that every day. Why can't people be normal like me? But you know, eh, it's just I don't know. I mean, I don't know when this happened. It's like you woke up one day, Gundogan. That's enough of the advertising here. All right, bro. You got to stop the advertising, Gundogan, because YouTube does not like that stuff. Yeah, I agree, Mike. But I mean, I don't know when this happened. It's like you wake up one day and this all started with the everybody gets a trophy, right? And then nobody knows what bathroom to use anymore. And you have all of this stupid, crazy stuff going on. People don't know what genders they are anymore. I mean, the whole world is just a mess. You're not safe anywhere. You're not safe at work, at school, at the mall. And that's why if you live in a state that allows you to carry a gun, carry a damn gun and carry every day. The mistake a lot of people make is they just carry when it's convenient for them or they carry once in a while. I mean, if you're going to carry, you should do it every day. I carry 7 days a week, 365, whether I'm home, whether I'm at work, no matter what I'm doing. I may use a different gun depending on the activity. Hey, Mike, but it's a big mistake people make is they don't carry every day. What's up, Ozzy? I don't care how you carry, inside the waistband, outside the waistband, Kydex holster, leather holster. Just carry your damn gun every day. You don't get to pick and choose when you're going to become a victim. Yeah, that's a good point there, Chris. There are certain types of work that it's just not easy to carry. Well, that's a good question, Michael, because the problem is the Second Amendment was um, intended for every person in the country. And for each state to make up their own laws doesn't make sense. The Second Amendment is not um, negotiable or open to interpretation. And they're so worried about restricting our rights, but you never ever once hear politicians saying what they're going to do to get the guns away from the bad guys. Hey, Jib Jab, welcome, brother. Yeah, I agree, Chris. I mean, believe me, I'm as pro Second Amendment as anybody. Um, and the civilians, we don't have any reason to own a fully auto weapon. But other than that, I agree. Um, and besides, it's like, with all of this nonsense going on with the Glock switches, you you would just think um, that actually makes it safer, right? Because they're not going to be able to handle the recoil. They're not going to hit anything, and their magazine will be empty in seconds. Yep, I love the 1911 as well. Yeah, well, the other problem, gun dog, and this is what cracks me up. When I hear the moronic arguments about open versus concealed carry, and all of these people that are arguing that, oh, I only conceal carry, it gives me the element of surprise. That's bullshit. There's no surprise. The only person that's got an advantage and the element of surprise is the shooter. He's the only one that knows when he's going to shoot. So you don't have any advantage carrying inside the waistband. None at all. And on top of that, element of surprise as you're drawing your gun from a Kydex holster that could be heard in the next county. So much for the element of surprise. It's just a stupid argument, and I don't know why the gun community even has these arguments to try to divide us. It's just silly. Um, you you carry how you feel comfortable. um, we live in the great state of Tennessee, and it's very gun friendly here. When we live in a rural area, I normally open carry here. Not to be a badass. I don't want to fight with my belly or my clothes to get to my gun. Um, but you also need to use common sense and have situational awareness. If I'm going to Memphis, which is the biggest shithole we have in Tennessee, I'm definitely not open carrying there. And I'm not open carrying in Nashville either. But when I'm in my area where I feel comfortable, I do. So I do use a combination of both, but I just don't see the argument in telling people you shouldn't open carry, it makes you a target. That's bullshit. I haven't seen any statistics on how many people get shot with their own gun. You know, you carry, you use common sense, um, and you take it from there. Yep, I agree with you there, SRT cop. I mean, I rotate I rotate my firearms a lot, and I dry fire train a lot. I probably dry fire 5 days a week. No, no bullshit. Um, and for me, it's not a problem. But you got to remember, there's a lot of people that carry a firearm that not only don't dry fire train, don't even go to the range. Especially now that we don't need any permit to carry in Tennessee. Any knucklehead could just go to the gun store um, and purchase a gun, strap it on their hip like magic, and think it's going to protect them. Early bird, you're baiting me, aren't you, with the 40 caliber? I'm not. I'm not biting, Duke. Well, you know what? There is no perfect caliber. You shoot what you shoot best, and um, my recommendation is always, especially to a person new to firearms, go to a gun range, rent a few guns, and carry the biggest caliber gun you shoot well. And if that happens to be a 9 millimeter, fine. I'm just, I've never been a 9 millimeter fan. I do own some because they're cheap to shoot. And, you know, they've evolved a lot over the past 10 years. Um, 380, absolutely not. For personal defense, I wouldn't go any lower than a 9 millimeter, but that's just me. But anyway, 9 millimeter evolved a lot over the past 10 years. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's a very uh, formidable round. Um, but that's only because when I was a kid and my dad taught me to shoot, I learned as a 10-year-old to shoot a 45 ACP, 1911, and a 357 Magnum. So for me, 9 millimeter was just a step backwards. Yep, 45 ACP is awesome, hence Progon 45. Um, like I said on the stream last week, um, I just started carrying the 1911 again. I like it better. Uh, Triggers better. My 1911 government model with a 5-inch barrel actually conceals better than my Glock 19. Trying to read these comments. They're going by real quick, and I apologize for that. Well, you know what, Chris? Um, Anybody can carry a large gun. With the right holster and the right gun belt, you can uh, you can carry anything. Um, Mr. Bad Monkey, personally, I'm not a fan of safeties. Um, and except for my 1911s that were designed to be carried cocked and locked, when I purchase a firearm, um, I would never intentionally buy one with a safety, but sometimes you can't help it. It comes that way. But if I do get a safety, if I do get a firearm with a safety, I never use it. It's just one less thing to have to remember with muscle memory, especially if you're carrying a gun with a safety today and one without one tomorrow. Mm, I agree, Chris. Just keep your finger off the damn trigger. That is the safety. But like I said, sometimes the gun you purchase um, has a manual safety. There's nothing you can do about it. If you really like the gun, I mean, I have a couple of them that have safeties, but I just never use them, except my 1911. Yeah, exactly, Danimal. That's a great point. So I got a call today from um, Bud's gun shop, and my Father's Day gift did come in. So I will mention it on Saturday after I pick it up and really have it. Exactly, Jib Jab. I mean, I'm not a fan of them, but it wouldn't stop me from buying a gun if I really wanted it. Actually, no. Most law enforcement went to um, 357 SIG, but the reason that they did go to 40 caliber is because of the Miami shootout. Um, they determined that the police were outgunned, so they came out with the 10 millimeter cartridge. But the problem is they built it around the shitty Smith and Wesson gun. So they blamed all the failures on the 10 millimeter cartridge, and a lot of the female and some of the male officers couldn't qualify. Um, so what they did is they took the perfectly good 10 millimeter cartridge and they neutered it and they made a 40 caliber out of it. So, like I always say, 40, in my opinion, 40 caliber is just stupid. You might as well just get a real gun and get a 10 millimeter and you could shoot 40 caliber out of it because that's all 40 is. They took a perfectly good 10 millimeter and they circumcised it. Um, and, if you notice now, nobody's making 40 calibers anymore. They're all coming out with 10. Um, 40 caliber ammo is worthless. You might as well just get a 10 millimeter and shoot 40 out of it. And by the way, I've been saying for a while now to start stocking up on uh, ammo. Uh, you know what, Danimal? I like the 45 and the 10 millimeter. Um, I uh, I carry both. I carry a 10 millimeter and a 45, and especially if you're carrying a 10 millimeter, you don't have to do that double tap shit that the 9 millimeter guys do. Yes, you know why, Mel? They fell out of popularity because it's stupid. That's why. 22 for the range is fine. Um, that's a good question, early bird. It's a great gun. It sights the same, um, and ammo's cheap. I mean, you could buy a brick of 22 and you could shoot all day. Um, but a few weeks ago, when we were talking about reloading, I told you guys back then, remember, Mike, that you should start reloading now because ammo's going up. Well, guess what? 9 millimeter ammo that I used to be able to get down here in Tennessee for $9.99 a box any day is now $13.99. So ammo is starting to go up again. Yeah, $90 for 1,000. Yeah, I mean, even the 10, even the 22 is expensive now. Um, Before we moved here from New Jersey, um, I was on, I think it was Walmart's website, and they had the Federal 22 long rifle bulk pack, 525 rounds in a box for 14.95. Um, and I think I bought 10 of them. Yeah, boy, Jib Jab, 45, nice big hole, a lot of blood. And 45 is God's caliber. Well, they don't say stupid things, early bird, about the 22. I think it depends on what you're using it for. I mean, everything has its place. That's exactly what I was saying there, old grouchy guy. I said weeks ago that if you reload, stock up on primers, brass, and bullets, and start reloading now, because um, ammo and powder and stuff is going to go up, and it's going up now. I think I'm down to my last 5,000 primers. They're going to probably get another 5,000 more. Um, you don't build the ark after it starts raining. But like I said, I called it and I said, you watch August, September, ammo's going to go up. It's starting already. Yes, early bird, any gun is better than no gun. And it is all about shot placement. I agree with that. But personally, for defense, I'd rather have a 45 or a 10 millimeter. All right, Mel, thanks for joining. And I'm so sorry to hear about that. I hope she gets better. Well, anything is lethal. I mean, people can say all they want about a 22. I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end. Any caliber is the worst caliber to get shot with. Trust me, you don't want to get shot with a 45 or a 10 millimeter either. But everybody does get hung up on the caliber wars. There is no best caliber. Um, like I said, I recommend people to get the largest caliber you shoot well and carry that. And if it happens to be that it's 9 millimeter or 380, that's fine. Because if you can't shoot, it doesn't matter what you're carrying. Yeah, I think if I was going to get shot, I'd rather it be a 40 caliber too. And if I got shot with the 40 caliber, I'd be able to say, thank God that guy wasn't smart and didn't buy a 10 millimeter. Yeah, no, I don't think I want to get shot either, regardless of the caliber. You know what, Chris? If that works for you, that's fine, bro. I love Springfields. I have a lot of them. But in my opinion, the XD is just The XD series is not Springfield's best work. I'm sorry. I had one for about a week. I couldn't stand it. I got rid of it. It felt very plasticky. Um, it's just not their best work. 44 mag, if it's, well, for hunting, yes, 44 mag is awesome, but definitely not going to carry that for defense. Um, Over penetration is way too much. 38 Special is an awesome self defense round. It's almost tied with a 9 millimeter. It's got very low recoil. And it'll do a lot of damage. I mean, you know, police used to carry 38 Specials back in the day. Nothing wrong with that, Mark. I mean, personally, if I buy a revolver, I buy 357 Magnums. And even if you never plan on shooting 357 out of it, if you wanted to, you could. So it's like getting two guns in one. And you can buy a 357 and just shoot 38s out of it, but or 38 plus P. But you do have the option of 357 Magnum. If you get 38 Special and you want a little bit more oomph, you're not going to be able to shoot the plus P. 22 mag early bird, not for defense. That's just me. Mr. Bad Monkey. Rifles. I guess my favorite. I mean, I don't have any World War II rifles, but my favorite. I have a Remington 308 bolt action, and that is probably one of my favorites. 22 mag is often overlooked, but that just would never be top of my list uh, for a self-defense gun. But World War II rifles, they are pretty cool, though. And that's a good choice there, Mark. Plus P works fantastic. M1 Garand is nice. Little pricey. Again, we have a whole bunch of new people on here today, so thank you for joining us. Um, we do this live stream every Wednesday evening at 8 Eastern and every Saturday at 12 noon. And we discuss firearms, Second Amendment products, etc. If you haven't done so, please hit the subscribe button. I have almost 1,000 videos on the channel for you to watch. Yeah, I agree, Jib Jab. I mean, I got the Remington um, bolt action 308, and I like the 308 a lot. But a 30-06 would be fun as well. But the Grand's just a little pricey. I'm not saying it's not worth it. It's just a lot of money. Now we got about 15 minutes left. You know what? That Mini 14 is an awesome gun. It's probably one of Ruger's best guns they ever made. Early bird, how much do 45s go? Well, if you're going to get a real 45, and I'm not talking about getting a Taurus or a Rock Island, you're probably talking $500 or $600. And one thing to keep in mind is that, especially if you stick with a brand name 1911, the trigger is almost identical on all of them. That's one of the things I love about the 1911. They have the best triggers in the world, in my opinion, right out of the box. Um, but I would say $650, you can get a decent one. And I just bought my Kimber. I got a great deal on it. I wasn't even uh, looking for it, but I was at Bud's and I got my Kimber custom for $625, and it included 3 magazines, a range bag, a Kydex holster, and a mag carrier. So, yeah, and I agree with you, Jib. You got to spend $600 or more. That was an awesome deal. I mean, fortunately, um, I don't know if you guys ever go to Bud's Guns website, but where I live in Tennessee, we're only about a half an hour from Bud's. So, and Smoky Mountain is right next door. So, I go there a lot. Matter of fact, I will be going there Saturday. But yeah, the 3 steel mags, the range bag, it was a reversible Kydex holster and a mag carrier. Um, you know what, Danimal? There's a lot of people that have a TSAS and a Rock Island. There's nothing wrong with them for range guns. Personally, I would just go a step above that. That's just me. Um, you do get what you pay for. I tell you though, I'm liking that Kimber Custom LW. Um, I like that a lot. But let me tell you, Daminal, you are gonna love that emissary. That thing is, besides being badass looking, it's so friggin' heavy that there's zero muzzle flip. I mean, hopefully you have a good holster and a good gun belt because that gun is heavy. But there is no muzzle flip, and it's just badass. If you look at the slide, it's almost like triangular. It's just really cool. You know what, Kenneth? We're all entitled to our opinion. I would highly doubt that Rock Island is one of the best 1911s. I would argue that. Early bird Glock 17, can't go wrong with that. Full size duty weapon. You know, you got to remember, Glock's not the only gun that goes bang every time. They staked their reputation for years. Um, and, you know, it used to be, uh, I don't know how to tell you. Hellcat Pro is an awesome gun, Mike. And the Colt machines are not made in the Philippines uh, like the Rock Islands. Hey, Brookside, thanks for joining, brother. Hope you're doing well. And we got about 10 minutes left, Brookside. We do end this at 9 o'clock. And again, it's not like I'm not saying that Rock Island and T-saws are pieces of crap. They're not. I'm just saying that you get what you pay for, and I, I'm not putting that Rock Island or T-sauce up there with the Springfield emissary. That emissary is just badass. What you like about that Danimal is the G10 grips have a um, grenade pattern on them, which are really cool. Um, and I love it's got the classic Springfield uh, tritium front night sight with a U-notched rear sight. Gives you super quick target acquisition. Um, I can't. I'm excited for you. I can't wait for you to get it, so you can let me know how you like it. Because that that is one sweet shooting gun, man. Um, no, I would not get a revolver with a 12 or 16-inch barrel. Unless you were hunting with it on the range, I wouldn't go any bigger than a 6-inch barrel. Danimal, those sights are phenomenal. The um, the U-notched rear sight and the front sight is so easy to get rapid target acquisition, much easier than your traditional 3-dot sights. You're gonna love that. I mean, you basically pick it up and it's right there. Yeah, that too, Jib Jab, walking around saying, "I'm your Huckleberry." Yeah, I'm. I don't know. I mean, unless you're hunting, I just don't see the point of those real big barrels on a revolver. For the range, and if it was range only, I don't even know if I'd go with a 6-inch barrel. I'd probably stick with a 4. Yeah, Tombstone was a great flick. Well, you know what you get, Duke. You get the folding pistol carbine, like the Smith& and Wesson M&P FPC. I got it in 9, only Mike got his in 10. I mean, that's what I would do. Man, it is hot here today. I like to shoot different guns as well, but guns that are practical. Yeah, Ken, that Smith& and Wesson carry comp is nice. Um, I believe that's got the steel grips on it now. Hey, Ralph, thanks for joining. No, Chris, I absolutely don't see any problem with that. As long as you train with both. No, Glock 21 is awesome, though. That's one of my favorite. Matter of fact, in my opinion, the Glock 21 is probably the best non 1911 45 ACP ever made. I just built a Glock 21. I bought the grip module from Lone Wolf. I got the Lone Wolf Timberwolf large grip that will fit a Glock 21 or 20 slide on it. Um, I bought the slide at K&M Tactical with the threaded barrel. Um, yes, built, Chris. Um, I I got the Lone Wolf frame. Then I got the slide, and I bought the components for the upper, um, and the barrel and the springs, and I assembled the upper with the upper parts kit. 1911. That's the shit, bro. I said last week when when I bought that new Kimber 1911 and I took it on vacation. I'm back to carrying 1911s now. Um, Not only do they shoot great, but concealability. When when I ride on my when I ride my motorcycle, my 1911 government model with the 5-inch barrel conceals better than my Glock 19 because the the grip module's like half the thickness. Yeah, I agree, Chris. And I bought some guns too that were mistakes. I bought the Ruger 5.7. Um, that was definitely a mistake. You know what, Chris? Uh, you hear this argument all the time against the 1911s with 7 shots, right? Carry a spare mag. The average gunfight is 3 shots at 3 yards in 3 seconds. If you're in a gunfight and you're actually got to fire 14 rounds, you got a big problem. I mean, odds are you're probably going to die because if you have to shoot 14 times, that means there's more than one assailant, and one of them is going to get you. Yeah, the 5.7 is cool, but that was a big mistake. It's too big to carry. The ammo's too expensive. I'll probably never carry it. I carry every one of my guns, no matter how much they cost. Revolvers, semi-autos. I'm never going to carry the 5.7. So that's one of the guns that I'm going to be getting rid of this weekend. No, I have never had a 32. Personally, like I said, I wouldn't go down below a 9 millimeter. You know what? I'm still not buying that capacity nonsense. In my opinion, if people think they need 21 rounds, it's probably because they don't train enough. Maybe they should go shoot more at the range. The the need to carry a 21 round magazine, I think it's because they have doubt in their shooting abilities. You carry a 1911, carry a spare mag. Trust me, no gunfight lasts 14 rounds. Home defense, whatever you happen to have, there is no best caliber or best gun. Um, Kenneth, it all comes down to whatever works, right? I mean, I have guns that I don't like, and friends of mine shoot them very well. They shoot them better than I do. And then I have friends that let me shoot their gun, and I shoot their gun better than they do. And, it's not a one size fits all. Um, we can both have the same gun, and one of us could like it, one could hate it. Um, and that's why, rent it at the gun range first. But me, I still think that 1911 rules. Not only is it a great shooter, doesn't have a lot of muzzle flip, big hole, a lot of blood. It's got a great trigger, and it's badass looking. Yes, and that's the problem there, Kenneth, is that some people make the same mistake that I have. I've gone to a gun store and I fell in love with the gun. And I took it to the range and I didn't like it because it didn't fit my hand right. Um, so it all goes, it depends on how big your hand size is, whether you're going to carry it or not. Um, some guns have extra back straps and some don't. So if you get one without back straps, then you're stuck with it if it doesn't fit your hand properly. Well, that's fine, Chris. I'm just saying that, I am a data guy. I analyze data for a living. And I haven't seen any statistics that showed that people died because they ran out of ammo. Well, that's the thing there, Jib Jab. Hey, Mr. Bad Monkey, thank you for that. That's the thing besides that, Jib Jab, is that 1911 just conceals so well. What was the gun that cops used before the Glock? They carried 357 Magnum revolvers. Yes, the 1911 platform is awesome. You can change grips. And the thing I like about the 1911 is I could have 5 1911s, all 45 ACP, and I could use the same magazine on every one of them, as opposed to, getting 5 polymer frame striker fire guns where now you need to have magazines for every one, and you're going to get 2 or 3 mags for each one, and it costs a freaking fortune. I mean, you get 4 or 5 1911s, and you buy, 5 spare mags, and you could use it on all of them. Oh, all right, guys. It is time to end this stream. It is 9 o'clock, and this went by very quickly, and I want to thank you all. I really enjoyed this with you guys. You know what, Kenneth? One note I'm going to end on. You could cut expenses on anything you want. When it comes to 1911, don't chintz out on the magazines. Trust me. In my opinion, the only magazine for a 1911 is Wilson Combat. All right, guys. Have a good evening. God bless. See you all Saturday.